Hey, it's your boy, Depression. I'm back at it again with reviewing a game that I played. And we're gonna go over the Force Unleashed. This is gonna be a super raw, like no script, me just talking about the game in general. I'm not very good, so you're gonna hear a lot of uhs and but yeah, I mean hopefully I can give you like a you know the most realist possible fucking review of the game. And my opinion of it, which once again, my opinion is not the end all be all. I have a pretty low standard for a lot of shit, so probably things are gonna be higher, maybe even lower. All right, first we're just gonna do the gameplay. Uh, so the gameplay is yeah, it's very fun. The combat's very interactive. You can do a lot of combos. And then like you could use attack twice and then use a forced ability to literally just sweep them off the cliff. Those beeps are me in Discord. I'm muting and deafening myself because nobody's played this game, and was trying to get somebody to fucking join, but nobody's played it. So anyway, so back to gameplay. Um, yeah, so combos. Uh, just in general, the fighting is very fun. It's also very unique in Star Wars lore, with it being able to use the not being able to use, but just the style that they have is very unique with the backward saber instead of like having it holding it like most people would like they were a knight. Star Killer holds it reverse gripped, and so that's very unique and very cool. All the force powers, there's not like it doesn't have the same variety as like Jedi Knight Jedi Academy, which I've played previously, but it does have a good but what it does have, they do intertwine in the combat very well. You have a couple abilities that involving like a force explosion, where basically it's a force push, but in in an all around 360 circle. You have a lightning shield, which you basically just supercharge yourself with lightning, so you can like fucking anybody that melee attacks you will get electrocuted, and then also every attack you have is just pure electricity uh, around your saber, and also extends the range of the attack and everything too. You have you obviously your saber throw as well. Um, and then I feel like I'm forgetting one. It's been a couple weeks since I've played this game. Uh, yeah. So you got force abilities. You have push. You got pull. You got I must say pull, but it's more like you really just it's just a force grip. I mean you can you move it however you want. You're literally just picking something up and moving it around. But you do have a regular ass force push where you just blast out the force. You have lightning. Just straight up shoot lightning. The usual. And you got a little force dash, which is just as normal ass fucking dash, and you can double jump. I feel like you have to add that because it is technically a force power. The game is very platformy as well, which uh, which isn't bad. I enjoy a good platformer every once in a while. Other than that, for gameplay, I think it's everything for gameplay. So I'm ready to get on to the plot of the game. The plot's okay. So the plot's not bad. It's not bad at all. But like especially when I played it, I thought it was a pretty good plot. But when I first played it a long time ago, but replaying it as an adult, I'm just like, I can objectively say it's not a bad plot, but it feels rushed as shit. So like for example, you got fucking um Star Killer. You're basically uh your child that Darth Vader finds after he kills Star Killer's father on Kashyyyk. Finds out he's force sensitive and he's pretty powerful too. So he takes him and he trains him up, through the whole Sith training in secret away from the fucking Emperor. And he's basically making him into a weapon against the Emperor. And then he sends him out, on his final test. I say final test, but he's gonna kill 3 Jedi and bring all their lightsabers back. So he makes him kill 3 separate Jedi. One is Coda. Another one is I forget the name of, but he's a Jedi Master Exile that lost all of his He's very. I remember the lore behind him. I just don't remember the fucking his actual name. Uh, Basically, he was a guy that a Jedi master that was on the council that got super arrogant and was just like, oh, I'll take all my, I'll take my Padawans and a couple other, low ranking people, and we'll go kill this Grievous guy. And then Grievous ended up fucking them all up, and he was the only one left alive, basically. And then, so he went into exile, he lost his mind, all kinds of shit. And then you have Shock T, which everyone knows is the Tartunga baddie, uh, before fucking, adult Snips came around. Um, anyway, after that, the Emperor finds out about Starkiller, and then Vader says, "Eat shit and die," but stabs him in the back as the picture shows, quite literally, and then yeets him into space. After the Emperor leaves, Vader says, "Oh, I changed my mind." Brought him back in, healed him up, and then was like, "Hey, that's your fault." Basically, he gaslit him into saying it was his fault, and that and now he has a new plan. So basically, he makes Starkiller gather all the basically all the Emperor's enemies, people that would rebel against the Empire, to basically do like a targeted strike against all of them in one go. And so, Starkiller decides to go all, and you follows along, even though he literally got stabbed in the back, and he takes his pilot Juno, who is another lady, is the main love interest and lady that has been flying around in the previous missions. Saves her from the place, basically blows up a bunch of shit and is acting like he's a escaped rebel. Uh, Finds Kota, who's still alive. He was the first boss you fight, and then basically Kota, is blind, doesn't recognize them all, and drunk as shit. So he basically gets the Starkiller gets Kota to help him find people that would rebel and everything. You have to save Princess Leia. She makes an appearance in this game. And then they all given after a while, after like 2 or 3 missions, you gather everyone up, uh, all the people together, and they, the entire time you're feeding information back to Vader. Eventually, Vader does a targeted strike, um, betrays Starkiller again, and then proceeds to yeah, and Starkiller proceeds to be run away and survive basically. And then he comes around. He Starkiller decides, all right, I've been betrayed twice. Time to switch sides. And the very last mission is where you're going to go save all the leaders of the rebellion, so that the rebellion will still live, and also to redeem yourself as Starkiller. There's a little bit of romance at the very end, but the entire time I was just kind of like, they were really just acting like they were friends, like friends at best, coworkers at simple. Uh, there's only 2 moments where Starkiller like has any kind of romantic interest, and that's at the very very beginning when he first meets her, and in the very end whenever they basically say goodbye. Well, uh, anyway, Starkiller goes basically just climbs apart the Death Star, fights his way through, gets to Vader, fights Vader, and then you have to make a choice between saving the rebellion and fighting the Emperor next, or finishing off Vader. And when during that time, all where the rebellion is destroyed. The canon version is obviously to save the rebellion, and then you fight the Emperor, and then the Emperor, and you actually match the Emperor. Starkiller actually matches the Emperor for a little bit, and then he ends up dying because that's how it works. But because of that, because of his actions, the rebellion is able to escape, and the rebellion is able to actually, form. And the symbol of the rebellion, according to this game, is actually taken from Starkiller's childhood home. See, and that's basically the plot. The design of the game is it's not bad. I would say the levels were interesting. Um, they reused almost every episode, like almost every level. Honestly, I would say that like uh, the Junkyard Planet. There's like two Junkyard Planets, same fucking planet, I believe. You go to Kashyyyk twice technically, uh, maybe even three times. Um, no. You go to Kashyyyk twice. Once when you play as Darth Vader in the very beginning, and another time when you're saving Princess Leia. Um, you also you go to Felucia twice. Felucia was probably the best design because most of the time when Felucia is shown, it's like a if Kashyyyk is an alien forest, then uh Felucia would be an alien rainforest. You know, like more exotic looking plants and stuff like that. But most whenever you do Felucia, usually most people don't uh or most designers don't really like give it that real alien-esque appeal. I think that from what I can remember off the top of my head, this game and Battlefront 2, the original, both did pretty well at making it feel like an alien rainforest and not just a rainforest of extra steps. As for design, you get a costume every level. And if you buy the Ultimate Sith Edition, which I think is the only version available now, that's just so they can justify selling it at a higher price. Is the Ultimate Sith Edition. That comes with all kinds of fucking costumes and shit. You can also collect some lightsaber crystals here and there. And you get three different types of lightsaber crystals. Well, you have the power crystals and the color crystals. And the power crystals will give you different buffs during when you're fighting. The color crystals are just changing the color. But there are three different types of color crystals. You have the unstable, which is it's like basically how do I say it, not vibrates. It fluctuates. You know, you like it basically that type shit. Having to use sound words to fucking find the right word. And then you have the compressed, which is literally just I think really just makes it look smaller or skinnier, but like the light's brighter. And then you just have the regular ass color crystal. Um, Other than that, for the design, uh, they make the force. I mean that's basically. I mean, like when it comes to the force, they make the force more visible, so you can actually see. You know, like most even the force is supposed to be invisible. They make it to where you can actually see what you're doing. Makes more impact on the environment when you see it. I feel instead of just shit just flying off out of nowhere. Uh, and then another level that was fun for me was the level where you go to find Koto or General Kota because it's a basically I think it's like Vespa. No, Cloud City. It's like yeah, Vespa Cloud City. It's like one of those floating cities, and there's a lot of shit you can interact in an environment that has carbonite, so you can literally just fucking freeze motherfuckers in the carbonite all over the place. It's pretty fun. The enemy designs are fucking stormtroopers. I mean, like that's good. That's gonna be your main shit. You can't. There are some like NPCs that run around every once in a while. Like there's some Javas and some other aliens that are like Scrapper. Like I mean, you have like the native Felucians. Native Felucians are ugly as fuck. You have to fight a couple of Rancars as well. Um, but sometimes you'll have like Wookiees that are on your side, but you can still fucking like throw them around or shit. Uh, Also, there's an escort mission on that same Cloud City level where you can literally pick up General Cody. You're supposed to escort and throw him, which I do at one point in time by accident, and it fails the mission. uh, yeah, and that I love the design of a lot of this shit. Yeah, I mean it's a dated game though. It is an Xbox 360 game era, but it don't look terrible. But you can definitely tell it's a little dated. And now we're on to the characters. Obviously, Starkiller, main character. He's absurdly powerful. One instance of something you do that I think really made people like fucking be like, holy fucking shit, was whenever Starkiller was able to pull out a whole ass star destroyer out of the fucking sky and make it crash land on the planet. shit was shit's hype. Other than that, though, like I mean, I've already talked about the plot. His combat style is like I said, unique. He's kind of like Darth Maul with creating a whole new type of saber style. Because before Darth Maul or before Force Unleashed, I personally don't think or heard of any other Jedi or Sith using a reverse grip to fight. Um, so yeah, that was, pretty cool game. Other than that though, you know, he's a Sith raised. His father was a Jedi Knight. He was raised as a Sith, and in the very end makes a redemption arc. Um, other than that, though, like this scene right here where he finds the ghost of his father when he accidentally visits his family's home was random as fuck. He literally just goes, "Wait, father, no," and then that's it. That's all you ever hear about it. Is like they're like, "You want to talk about it?" He's like, "No, I'm good." And then he continues on the mission, and then you never hear anything else about it. And then that they like, except for at the very end when they decide on the symbol for the rebellion. So that's like it's like I wish they would have like expanded upon or maybe had like a longer conversation because like his dads are like I didn't want you to go through this. That's it. Bye, deuces. And then like nothing else. Like it was fast as fuck. It was kind of like left field out of nowhere type shit. It made no sense. Other than that though, yeah, that's about it for Starkiller. I feel like I've talked about him a lot. And yeah, there you have Juno. Um, Eclipse. I want to say was her last name. Basically, she's the main love interest. She's a imperial pilot, and she's the one who basically flies you to your missions. She's very uh, early 2000s love interest coded, blonde hair, skinny girl. But like I said before, they're very like the romance is kind of out of nowhere because there is a little bit of romance. The only romance there is whenever Starkiller first sees her, and then he's like, "Oh wow, who was that?" That type of shit. And then at the very end, I will say the one thing that's pretty cool about it is that usually whenever somebody they're the hero is about to go on a suicide mission, it's usually the man that's like, you know, I'm gonna give you this kiss before I go. Uh, in this one, Juno's the one that's just like, well, look, I won't regret this, and then like fucking kisses the shit of him. So that was I guess that was nice and different than the usual norm. Other than that, though, like I said before, like throughout the entire game, they felt more like coworkers and at best friends. Um, she's the one that she finds out about Starkiller talking to or sending information. I mean, which doesn't write him out or anything like that, but she keeps telling him like, he's gonna betray you, and Starkiller's like, what? No, couldn't do. It. He already did it once. He wouldn't do it again. Uh, but other than that, though, like I said, I mean, like I don't really have much. I mean, she isn't really. She is the most prevalent side character minus Proxy, which is the robot, out of all of them. But at the same time, like you know, all the cutscenes weren't very long, and they tried to cram as much as they could in the cutscenes. Part of me thinks this game was made on a budget, and they spent most of their budget on the actual gameplay, which is a good call in their opinion, but the story suffers because of it. And then anyway, we're gonna go on to Proxy. He's literally an assassin combat droid that is basically a trainer. He trains against Starkiller all the time. Tries to keep him on his feet. Constantly is trying to assassinate him at inopportune moments. And then there was a boss fight where he basically, he uses holographic imaging and uses their forms to fight. Uh, he does that for he takes on the form of Obi-Wan at one point. He takes on the form of I think General Code at one point, and then he also takes on the form of Darth Maul at one point at the very end. And like I said, it's been a couple of weeks since I played this game, so I think he does sacrifice himself to save the main character when Darth Vader betrays him for the second time. Uh, and other than that, he's just just one of those droid characters. He's got the haha because he's constantly trying to kill him, and then he also He also impersonates Darth Vader by opening a communication. So basically, Darth Vader is sending the communication, and it makes it seem like Darth Vader's inhibiting his body, type stuff whenever they talk. Other than that, though, like I said, like he's got the most screen time after right up there with Juno, and yeah, and with General Coda, he's basically the Jedi Master of Starkiller, quotation quotation. I mean, like, doesn't really teach him jack shit, but it really advises him more. Like, General Coda was a Jedi that, whenever the fucking Order 66 happened, he was one of the few Jedi's that were like, fuck that, I'm not using clones, I'm gonna use my own militia. And so he took his own militia and he went to ground after Order 66, and then basically gained strength and was so like doing like different strikes against the Empire. Um, but after Starkiller comes to kill him, he defeats him and throws him out of a ship after blinding him. Coda ends up fucking becoming a drunk. Um, Starkiller fucking finds him again, brings him back into the fold, and then Coda helps him start up the rebellion. Other than that, though, like I said, like every interaction with him is kind of rushed. So I mean, like it's not really he doesn't really have time. Him and Juno, I think, as characters, are way more better in the second game, if I remember correctly. And then we have Darth Vader. Darth Vader, Starkiller Master, killed his dad, took him in as a kid, trained him as weapons, betrayed him twice, and at the very end, you have a fight scene with him that you can either kill him for good, or if you do the canon, which isn't really technically canon, now I think about it because of Disney, but basically you can, Starkiller can, do the what you're supposed to do. It's canon in this, the Force Unleashed universe at least, and spare him. Other than that, though, I mean, Darth Vader's Darth Vader. I feel like everyone fucking knows who Darth Vader is. Um, spoiler alert. Spoiler alert. If you don't know, it's Anakin Skywalker. Who's Luke's father. But other than that, though, I mean, like the one interesting thing is about this game that they do for Darth Vader is they let you play the invasion of Kashyyyk with Darth Vader. And you have to kill in the very very first boss you fight in the game is Starkiller's dad. Uh, the only problem I have with him is that he don't walk fast. He's like a like instead of running or anything like that, he's just a fast walker, dude. He just goes through the entire mission just fucking breathing and walking. But he is even in the game makes him seem absurdly powerful. He's like eating shit left and right. He's fucking you blowing shit up easily as fuck. All kinds of shit, throwing Wookiees all over the fucking place. It's pretty fun. And then we have the Emperor. The Emperor, you only really ever see him like once or twice. He is the final villain if you choose the good side to save the rebels. Uh, I mean, his boss fight isn't really difficult, to be honest. I mean, most of these boss fights aren't. But I will like. I mean, I really just put him in here simply because he is the boss and he is the Emperor. Starkiller is able to match him at one point in time and basically forces him back long enough for the rebellion to get away, and so they actually get and survive and do all that bullshit. But in the end, Starkiller does die to the Emperor. Other than that, I mean, like he motherfucker just shoots lightning nonstop, throws shit at you. This entire boss fight. All right, I'm giving this game 4 out of 7 godlike powers, simply because of the fact of the story. Like I said, I just feel so rushed. Like most of what I was saying was damn near fucking uh as fast as those fucking cutscenes were. I mean, like they weren't like I mean, like the cutscenes weren't like just a minute or something long, but like they definitely felt very short. The game itself wasn't very long. Um, I will say the gameplay was fun and everything, which is why it brings it up higher. I actually probably should have re-edited this photo, maybe brought it up a point. I'm not 100% sure. Uh, but I feel like the story takes a massive hit from you know everything else. Just so you know, what I used as the little four little dudes up there, that's literally him in the process of pulling down the Star Destroyer. Um, Other than that, though, like I said, good. It's a good game. I would only spend $15 on it though, especially now. Maybe whenever it first came out, I could justify a 30 to $40 price tag. I can't remember what the average price for games back then was. I think it was about $30 anyway. For a brand new game, because when it first came out, it did look good. It felt good. I mean, the game in general felt good. It's like I said, just the story is lacking in it. Um, and that though, yeah. I mean, join me next time for the next review, next video game. Uh, I don't know what else I'll be doing after this. I wonder if I'll get another Star Wars game. You never know. Anyway, have a good one, Tulu.